Oil Be Blood is a loose film adaptation of the Upton Sinclair novel Oil about the oil boom in California during the early 20th century. In this movie, it spans from 1898 to 1927, almost 40 years, and it tells the story of Daniel Plainview, this silver miner who at the beginning goes from mining for silver to digging for oil. He starts his oil business in this small town, and he as time moves on, he becomes more greedy, loses a lot of his humanity, more ruthless, more evil, where he's a selfish jerk who doesn't care about anything except wealth and power. And the it does a good job exploring the themes of what greed can do to you, about how money is the root of all evil, and like capitalism. It's anti-capitalist themes that I'm not too big on. Well, I'm a capitalist, and also some religious themes, and I'm not damn religious, but this movie does a good job exploring how greedy business and religious business can corrupt the people involved in them. Like this preacher, Eli Sunday, played by Paul Dano, he's this Pentecostal preacher who's a faith healer, and he's obviously a false prophet. Everyone in the town is swayed by him except for Daniel, the lead character, played by Daniel Day Lewis, who gives an excellent performance and one of the best performances he's ever given. And he really deserved the Oscar he won for playing Daniel Plainview. And Paul Dano, he deserved the Oscar he was nominated for playing Eli Sunday. He also played Eli's brother Paul in the first scene where we see Paul Dano. And but Paul, he only has one scene, and then for the rest of them, it's just Eli. Well, Paul the character, not Paul Dano. Paul Paul Dano is throughout the whole movie, whether he's playing Eli or Paul in any scene, and he really pulled it off well. He's just like preacher who's all fanatical, like. And sometimes when he preaches, he screams. He has this like whiny girlish sound. Even other scenes later where he's like cowering about something, he'll do that little scream like. And his last name's Sunday. Obviously, comes from the famous preacher Billy Sunday, and he's based on Amy Semple McPherson, another preacher around during Billy Sunday's time. She was exposed as a charlatan. Billy Sunday, I don't think he was a charlatan because he didn't pull off any fake miracles, but he had a lot of religious views I would consider legalistic. So I'm not a fan of him either. And this movie did a good job exposing the religious charlatans and witty businessmen, how they were around back then and they're still among us today, and how we shouldn't let capitalism get to our heads too much. Uh, I'm a capitalist. I'm an American. I'm a patriot, but I'm not for like greedy capitalism, if that makes any sense. But I love the acting in this movie, from the two leads and the kid, HW, Daniel's adopted son. He's at first Daniel does love the boy. I mean, he adopts him when he's a baby after his dad dies, and I mean the first scene, one of the first scenes with the baby, I think he's drinking whiskey, and then he puts a little whiskey in the baby bottle and gives it to the baby, and then we skip ahead 10 years later, where the kid's like 10 years old, and we see the kid like he has an accident that causes him to go deaf, and and Daniel's really torn up about that, but and he does try to help his kid get him into a good school for deaf and blind kids. But over the years, when he becomes more greedy and selfish, he learns that he lets his greed get in the way of his love for his son and ruin their relationship. I'm not gonna spoil anything else after that, but it has a really shocking ending I didn't expect. Wow, this movie has great pacing. It's 2.5 hours long, although it's kind of almost 3 hours, but the pacing makes it feel like it's not that long. It's great cinematography, a great music score, great direction, great camera angles. I love the outdoor settings, the, the production design, the look of the turn of the century era from 1898 to the 1920s. Great look, great costume designs. The performances, the two leads are awesome. Great, I would say great music score, I think. But the this is truly one of the best movies of 2007, and it was nominated for Best Picture, and it was competing against No Country for Old Men. And I love both movies, but I think this should have won. But another movie that I think should have been in the Best Picture category, The Assassination of Jesse James, that didn't get nominated, If that was nominated too, and it was up to me, I would have given it to Assassination of Jesse James. That was my favorite of all of them. And there's another good Western that year I liked also called 310 to Yuma. That should have also been nominated for Best Picture. But the nomination numbers were lower than whatever. The Oscars are full of it. That's all I can say. And as for Quentin Tarantino, mentioning Paul Dano, Quentin Tarantino said he's a terrible actor. Look, Quentin, I love you, man. I love your movies, but you're wrong about this. Paul Dano's a fantastic actor. He proved it in this movie. And Quentin, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go home, sit your butt down for 2 hours, and watch this. You will be very impressed. And and if you're not impressed by it, Quentin, you're an idiot. No offense, man. No, I don't think you're an idiot. It's you're entitled to your opinion, but I think your opinion is silly. It's a poor taste in acting performances. Although you do have some good actors and some good performances in your movies too, Quentin. I just had to bring that up because talking about this reminded me of what Quentin Tarantino said about Paul Dano. But this movie is well done. Great direction from Paul Thomas Anderson. And I don't know if I've said this already or not, but I'm not the biggest Paul Thomas Anderson fan. I love this movie. I like One Battle After Another. I like that Master movie he did with Joaquin Phoenix. And other ones, Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler. I mean, I like Adam Sandler's. He did a very good turn from comedy to drama, straight up drama in this, but I didn't like the movie. I thought it was boring. But oh no, this is a good movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. No, there will be blood. I mean, I give There Will Be Blood 2 thumbs up, not Punch Drunk Love. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.